Listen carefully. This message is not for everyone. Some people will hear these words and feel nothing. But you were led here for a reason, because deep down, something inside you has been changing. You have felt it in the silence, in the loneliness, in the battles nobody knows about. You tried to explain it to people, but they looked at you like you were crazy. You outgrew conversations, outgrew environments, outgrew people you thought would be with you forever. And suddenly, you found yourself walking alone, crying alone, praying alone, fighting battles in your mind alone. But hear this clearly. You were never abandoned. You were being separated. God was removing noise from your life because your spirit was about to hear him more clearly than ever before. Yes, the betrayal hurt. Yes, the silence almost broke you. Yes, there were nights you asked God, why me? But heaven has an answer now, and God is saying, you passed the test. Not because you were perfect, not because you never cried, not because you never doubted, but because you kept going while bleeding inside. You kept believing while everything around you was collapsing. You kept praying when heaven felt silent. And that is why hell became nervous about your future. Because the enemy knows what happens next. Your pain was preparation, your isolation was training, your suffering was transformation. Listen carefully. The season you are entering will not look anything like the season you survived. Because after all the attacks, after all the heartbreak, after all the waiting, God says it is finally time to tell you everything. And once you understand why you suffered, you will never question your purpose again. Chosen one. Do you know why your life has felt different from everyone else? Because it is. You were never meant to fit into ordinary spaces. That feeling of being misunderstood, that feeling of being disconnected, that feeling of being spiritually exhausted around certain people. It was never weakness, it was discernment. Your spirit recognized what your heart was trying to ignore. Hear this clearly. Some people could not go where God is taking you, and because God loved you, he removed them, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. Listen, you cried over people God was protecting you from. You begged for doors to stay open while heaven was already closing them for your future. And now you finally understand, not everybody who smiles at you is sent by God. Some people were assignments against your destiny. Some people entered your life to distract you, to drain you, to delay you, to weaken your faith. But they failed because despite everything, you are still here, still praying, still standing, still searching for God. And heaven is proud of you for surviving what should have destroyed you. Listen carefully. The reason your journey has been lonely is because God develops his strongest warriors in isolation. Before David touched the throne, he was hidden in the field. Before Joseph reached the palace, he was betrayed and forgotten. Before Jesus began his ministry, he was alone in the wilderness. And before your elevation, there had to be separation, because God cannot reveal your true purpose while you are still addicted to the approval of people who cannot understand your calling. Hear this clearly. You were chosen before you were born. That restlessness inside you, that hunger for something deeper, that constant feeling that your life has a greater purpose, that is not imagination. That is the fingerprint of God on your soul. The enemy saw it early. That is why your battles started early. That is why your childhood felt heavy. That is why rejection followed you. That is why you felt unwanted in places where others felt comfortable. Hell attacks what heaven values. And your existence carries spiritual weight. Listen carefully. You thought people were rejecting you, but many of them were reacting to the anointing on your life. Your spirit disturbed demons they could not see. That is why some people disliked you without reason. That is why your presence exposed fake intentions. That is why betrayal followed you, even when your heart was pure. Chosen one, you were never crazy, you were awakening, and awakening is painful, because once God opens your eyes, you cannot return to spiritual blindness. Suddenly you see manipulation, you see deception, you see fake love, fake loyalty, fake friendships, and the hardest pain of all is realizing some people only loved the version of you that stayed broken. But God would not allow you to stay broken forever. Listen, the isolation was not punishment. It was surgery. God was removing emotional chains from your spirit. Every heartbreak cut something away from you. Every betrayal exposed something. Every delay taught you dependence on heaven instead of people. And now you are stronger, wiser, more discerning, more dangerous spiritually than ever before. Hear this clearly. The enemy attacked your mind because your mind carries vision. He attacked your peace because your peace carries power. He attacked your confidence because your voice carries authority. But despite every attack, you survived. That means God is not finished with you. Listen carefully. There were moments you almost gave up. Moments you smiled publicly while secretly collapsing internally. Moments you wondered if God had forgotten you. But heaven says, I was closest to you in the moments you felt most abandoned. God saw every tear, every panic attack, every sleepless night, every silent prayer, and none of it was wasted. Because suffering changes chosen people differently. Pain either destroys a person or awakens them. And your pain awakened you. Now your spirit is sharper. Now your faith is deeper. Now your discernment is stronger. You no longer chase people, you chase peace. You no longer beg for validation, you seek alignment with God. And because of that, everything is changing. Listen carefully. You are entering a season where clarity will replace confusion. God is about to expose hidden enemies. He lies, he manipulation. People who secretly celebrated your failures will suddenly disappear from your life. And do not chase them, let them go, because where God is taking you, everybody cannot come. Hear this clearly. You are not behind, you are being prepared. Divine timing feels painful because heaven works differently than human expectation. While you thought nothing was happening, God was building you privately, strengthening your spirit privately, preparing blessings privately, protecting you privately. The delay was not denial. The silence was not abandonment. God was preparing a version of you strong enough to carry the destiny you prayed for. And now, the shift has begun. Chosen one. This next season of your life will confuse people who underestimated you because they saw your wounds. But they never saw your oil. They saw your struggles. But they never saw God's hand covering you. Listen carefully. The enemy thought the pressure would destroy you, but instead it transformed you. And that transformation is what terrifies darkness the most, because broken people are easy to control. But spiritually awakened people, they become unstoppable. Hear this clearly. God allowed certain storms because your spirit was sleeping. Comfort was numbing you. People were distracting you. Environments were draining you. So heaven interrupted your life, not to destroy you, to wake you up. And now you finally see it. The pain changed your vision. The loneliness changed your priorities. The betrayal changed your discernment. The waiting changed your faith. You are not who you used to be anymore. And some people can feel it. That is why they became uncomfortable around you. Because your spirit evolved beyond the environment they wanted to keep you trapped in. Listen carefully. You survived seasons that should have buried you. That was not luck. That was God. There were accidents you should not have survived, depression that should have consumed you, attacks that should have broken your mind, but somehow